I'm Laura Gale Locke, your host for this edition of Burning Issues. 2013 was an exciting and a very busy year for the Wichita Fire Department. We are very pleased to have Wichita Fire Chief Ronald Blackwell here with us today. He's going to be telling us all about what happened in 2013. Chief, thanks for being here.
Good to be with you. And as you said, 2013 was a very busy but exciting year for us in the fire department. We once again exceeded more than 45,000 calls for emergency service, and had a number of highlights that I think are important to the community and really a tribute to all our people who are out there really putting in an effort every day.
And you guys have been celebrating a number of accomplishments.
Yeah, a number of things that I think are important, and chief among those may be our overall performance. The city utilizes the services of the International City-County Management Association, and from that there are a number of benchmarks that are used to determine a fire department's effectiveness. And there were three areas that we were really proud of that had to do with our response performance, our fire suppression, and then per capita cost. In the area of response performance, with 70% of the calls, 70% of our emergency calls here in Wichita, we have a response time of 5 minutes or less, which meets and in many cases exceeds what is taking place in most cities or jurisdictions our size. Our fire suppression efforts are second to none. Again, in about 70% of the house fires or building fires we respond to, we're able to confine the fire to the room of origin, which is really, really important when you consider how quickly a fire can grow. And then on issues related to cost, the cost for fire protection here in Wichita is lower than many cities our size by as much as 40%. And what I mean by that, I think the per capita cost for fire protection here in Wichita is about $104. In other jurisdictions, it's as high as $190 or anywhere from $140 to $190. And what that means is that we are very effective at determining how our resources are deployed, how often we hire, how often we train, but more importantly that we tend to attract the right people. And those are three performance areas that we're really proud of.
And speaking of new people, you guys just hired a new recruit class?
Very excited that we had 15 firefighters and 2 members of the Airport Police and Fire Division pass through our academy here in recent weeks, and they're now ready to serve. They're out in the field now. They've been distributed across the city working with veteran firefighters. But throughout the course of their first year, they're going to do a lot of learning, and we're certainly happy to have them a part of Wichita's bravest.
And you guys are already looking for your next class, right?
Well, you know, and we never really stop, but it is that time of year where anyone who has an interest in perhaps joining us should go to the city's website, wichita.gov, find the Human Resources tab, and complete an application.
And while we're on the subject of what's new, you guys also have some new equipment, right?
We do. 8 new fire trucks are coming to Wichita, 8 pumper trucks and a ladder truck. They are state-of-the-art. The pumpers have a 2,000 gallon per minute pump, meaning that we can really get a lot of water out of those. They're all equipped with jaws of life, which will provide some improvements in our response capabilities to vehicle collisions and crashes, or where we may need to use a specialized equipment to cut open a car or force some other door or find some way to get into something. The new pumpers also are called the pump under cab, which really speaks to how they're designed. We've got improved visibility on those pumpers, and we in the fire department are certainly grateful and thankful for that. We live in a great community and one that's been very supportive of our efforts.
And you guys are adding some important tools too. I'm thinking about some of your technology and your cameras. Right,
there are thermal imaging technology, which isn't new to the department, but there will be cameras made available on most of our fire equipment. The thermal imaging camera will allow us to see in zero visibility and low visibility environments. We'll be able to identify heat sources or shapes. They can be very effective during search and rescue operations, and so we're quite proud of that as well.
And have you been making any improvements to the Regional Training Center?
Again, I'm very excited about the addition of fuel pumps to our training center. And over the course of the past few years, there have been a significant improvement there. but there will now be both a gasoline and a diesel pump there, which not only provides service for us in the fire department, but for the city as well. Any of the city's vehicles that are operating in the southeast corridor of the city will have access to those pumps. As our fire crews train at the academy or have reason to be there, there'll be an opportunity to fuel up there and avoid some of the driving that had been a hallmark of our operation for a number of years, but there's a lot of efficiency to be gained there.
And talk a little bit more about the Regional Training Center and how you guys use it.
Well, you know, it opened in 2010. We train not only our recruit firefighters there, but all members of the fire department spend a considerable amount of training time there during training in our emergency medical service, which is the bulk of our calls anymore. We work with our medical director, Dr. Sabina Braithwaite. She's there providing training on almost a daily basis. In addition to that, there are in-service training opportunities that take place where if we receive a new piece of specialized equipment, if we respond to a significant incident, fire, crash, medical emergency, in which we need to go back and look at what we did to find ways to improve, we do that there. Our training academy also includes our logistics operations, where there's a number of supplies there. You know, there's cleaning supplies and appliances, things that are used to support the fire stations. And for years, we didn't have that. 2010 came along, the building came. We've got a top-notch staff there, not as big as I'd like, but we've got some hard-working people there, and that training academy has really, really been important to us.
And they've been doing things, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like ordering the new uniforms that you guys recently got for the firefighters? Right,
yeah. Well, our chief training instructor is there, and he works with a staff of adjunct instructors from the field, but everything that our firefighters need, from tools and equipment to uniforms to supplies, can now be obtained there, as opposed to what we were doing in the past, which involved a number of people driving around to various locations to get that tools and equipment for us.
And you have firefighters from other areas coming in to train there, right?
We do. We call it a regional training center, and one of the things that brings firefighters from throughout the region and several states, we've had firefighters from as far away as Florida and other places, both east and west, participate in our annual hands-on training event, which is one of the largest firefighter training conferences in this part of the country. We do it every year. We get many of our own involved in providing instruction. We also have names that are prominent in the National Fire Service that come in and share their expertise with us as well.
It's great to have firefighters be able to exchange ideas to get the best level of service for us and other communities.
It really is, and again, we're so fortunate here. When I think about the quality and caliber of Wichita firefighting, and the things that I have personally observed and seen them do on a daily basis, and to know that there are fire departments and people in the fire service from across the country that look at Wichita as one of the places that they'd like to come and share information, that's something to be proud of.
Mm-hmm. I've also heard you talk a lot about how appreciative you are of the community partnerships that you guys have in place.
This is a fantastic community to work in and be a part of. You know, as I've mentioned previously, they've been very supportive, and part of what we've been doing in 13 and certainly looking forward to continuing in the coming years are our community risk reduction activities, where we get our firefighters out of the fire stations and into the neighborhoods and put them in a position where they can engage the community, put our members in a position where there is a first name basis there, that I know Ron or I know John or Tim, and our neighborhood fire station is fire station number 7, and Rocky works there, and you know, that kind of involvement, and that I think in many ways has driven a lot of the improvements and the good things that come with us. People know our firefighters, we know them, but that's something that we want to continue to work on.
And is your FLASH program part of that?
The FLASH program is certainly a part of that, and of course FLASH stands for Fire Loss Awareness for Safer Homes. Typically what happens when there is a FLASH program, there is a fire or some kind of significant incident that impacts a neighborhood. The shift that responds to the incident will return to that neighborhood sometime within the next 4 or 5 days and go door to door to share with the neighbors the lessons we learned, provides an opportunity for them to talk about what happened and what they might do in the event that they were unfortunate or unlucky and found themselves in a position where they were suffering a tragedy.
Is that program unique to Wichita?
It's not, but it's something that we started doing about 6 years ago now. We had a flash program previously that wasn't quite as hands-on, and so as you know, I mentioned we want to get our firefighters out where the people are, talking to them, knowing, and sadly, sometimes a tragedy provides an opportunity for that. Of course, the opposite of that is we want to attend your block party, or we want to be at your neighborhood meetings, and those kinds of things, so that we don't meet because of a tragedy.
So if people want firefighters to come to their neighborhood meetings or whatever it might be, how can they arrange that?
Quite easily. If they'll call our fire headquarters, which is here at City Hall, that phone number is 268-4510, 268-4510. You can schedule or make arrangements there to get folks from your neighborhood fire station, or there's an opportunity to talk to some of our specialists. We have public education officers who on a daily basis are in the community and talking about the things that people can do to keep themselves safe. They also do fire inspection work in businesses and places of public assembly, but that is a good place to start. You call that number, we can get someone to your event. And I might also mention that, you know, we have an accelerant detection canine, Sporty. If you want to meet Sporty and her handler, Captain Stuart Bevis, they also can be contacted at that same number.
And that basically means the arson dog?
yes, the arson dog, an accelerant detection canine is what some people call her, but she is a Labrador who has special skills and has been very helpful in our fire investigation program. You know, I might mention to you that our fire investigators were involved in more than 200 fire investigations last year. Those 200 investigations resulted in a little over $11 million in fire loss, but 24 people were arrested and had an opportunity to be taken to justice as a result of that. And their work, in many cases, exceeds what you see in a number of cities across the country in terms of arrests for fires that were intentionally set.
So what is it about our unit that's doing it better than everybody else?
You know, I think there are a number of things that come into play. One, our people in the fire investigation unit are relentless, tireless, conscientious, hardworking people who take tragedy in many ways personally. And if there is reason to suspect that a fire may have been intentionally set, they take the time and apply all their training and skill and experience in trying to bring a resolution to that case. And they are really the best of the best.
And I'm sure they're very valuable, because I know that last year we did have some fire fatalities that you guys had to investigate.
Right. Last year was one of the worst years for fire death here in Wichita in recent memory. We had 11 die in fires. 7 of those incidents, we were not able to verify that there was a working smoke alarm present. That certainly tugged at the heartstrings of not only the people involved, but other people in the community. I mentioned the importance of our partnerships, and maybe a couple of years ago, there were 3 businesses in the community that stepped up and said, we want to do something to help. And so the Schofield Auto Group, All-Pac Interstate Battery, and the local Safe Kids Coalition donated smoke alarms and batteries that could be distributed throughout the city for anyone who had a need. And then this year we had 2 other companies join us. Tyco, Grinnell, and Shelter Insurance have come along to partner with us, and they provided cash or a check, large check, to purchase batteries and smoke alarms, and that too has been very helpful. So while there were 11 deaths, 11 too many, all very tragic. One of those was a multiple fatality fire in which 4 people died in East Wichita. We will continue to make an effort to have that year, and hopefully several years, where we don't have any fire death at all. And we live in a community where people pay attention, people want to be helpful, and working together and doing some things in terms of educating the public and providing opportunities for people to receive the kind of help they need. We're hopeful that we can have a better year in 2014.
And so if somebody's watching this and they'd like to take advantage and get a free smoke alarm, what should they do?
Same number. Call that number, 268-4510. There you'll have an opportunity to visit with someone who will schedule a firefighter visit to your home, and those firefighters will be equipped to install the smoke alarm for you. So we think that's a valuable community service and would certainly encourage anyone who has a need to give us a call.
That's a wonderful service. I know at my house, my smoke alarm's so up high I can't even reach it. I have to stack 2 chairs on top of each other to get up there.
Well, be careful with the chairs. As you know, I talked about those emergency medical calls. You know, people fall
Right.
and they slip, and how funny would it be if we responded to your house?
It'd be humiliating. Much better to let the firefighters do it. Well, that is a great partnership. And I know your firefighters also work with other outside organizations?
Sure, we do some work annually. There are 2 community agencies that we spend some time with. The Salvation Army, we ring the bell for them to increase their ability to provide services here in the community. We do some things with the Muscular Dystrophy Association, where you'll see the firefighters out with their boots raising funds to fight that disease. And then there are other things that take place in the community. You know, we have our Citizens Fire Academy. We'll be doing year 4, which is an opportunity for anyone and everyone to learn more about the inner workings of our fire department. Over the course of 10 weeks on a weekly basis, they'll spend time at our training academy with our firefighters, learning not only about the department but participating in some hands-on activities, and that has been a very successful program for us. It culminates with a ceremony in front of the City Council in which certificates are presented, and then we leave there and we go upstairs here in City Hall to Fire Headquarters, and we cut a cake and acknowledge the good work in the fun times.
I bet they love doing the hands-on part of it.
They do. Everybody likes the hose line.
Yeah.
And when we're throwing water, and of course we provide them protective clothing, they'll have a helmet and coat and pants, and they're dressed to do the work, and they learn the inner workings of what takes place inside a burning building. We have our firefighters there with them, helping them every step of the way. And we talk not only about those things that take place at a fire, but fire station life. The training also includes a ride-along opportunity where you spend time at the fire station, and should an emergency call present itself while you're there, which happens often here in this town, you'll have an opportunity to ride along.
You really get to see what it's like for the firefighters.
You will get to see it up close, yeah.
And so if somebody wants to apply for that, again, do they go to wichita.gov or call you guys?
Right, yeah, there are a couple of ways. The phone number that we mentioned, 268-4510. And then too, we have a Facebook page now, and we're looking for people to like us. We have maybe 6,000 likes, but we certainly like to have more. You know, we sometimes quietly compete with the police department.
Go like the fire page, start a little war.
Please go like the fire page, but there's an opportunity there to leave a message, and we'll respond to you there as well. The city's website is another place where you can go and get information about a very exciting program.
And you guys also do stuff with kids.
We do a lot of things with kids. You know, I'd mentioned our public educators, and they're out on a daily basis, involved with the school system, USD 259. They're in some of those classrooms. We have a partnership with 2 of the city's high schools, at Northeast Magnet High School and South High School, where we put together a program that will expose high school students to the fire service as a potential career. And so there again, there'll be a firefighter involved in some classroom instruction as well as a classroom teacher, and they provide information about the pathway to possible employment in the fire service. Not only with our fire department, but any fire department in Lorgale. As you know, there are a number of jobs in the fire service that go beyond work in the fire department or a particular fire department. There's the federal fire service, there are state fire service agencies, and some of the education and training they get there could be helpful if they choose to pursue this as a possible career.
And I've always thought it's interesting, you know, people think of firefighters and they think of them putting out house fires and building fires, right, and probably now responding to medical calls, but you guys do even more stuff than that.
Right, there are things here in Wichita that we're often involved in. We refer to ourselves as an all-hazards agency, and so we respond to hazardous materials emergencies. There are a number of specialized firefighters trained there. We have a rescue station that is highly specialized, where members of our department have been trained in water rescue and recovery. So there are divers, there is a high-angle rescue for those tall structures, or, you know, our skyline includes grain elevators. There's sometimes incidents there that require somebody specialized. And then those things that go on below ground, we have firefighters trained to mitigate those kinds of situations as well.
Well, I know your men and women do a lot of good work on a daily basis, mm-hmm, and quite a few of them receive awards. They
do. We have in our department Founders Day, which is August 23rd. August 23rd in 1886, our fire department was founded, and we take that day to pause and reflect on many of the good things, and in some cases heroic action or community service events that have taken place over the course of the year. We bring in a number of our firefighters who throughout the year have done really good things, and we also take some time that day to recognize our firefighter of the year. And for 2013, that was Captain Matt Bowen, or that is Captain Matt Bowen, who was assigned to Fire Station 9 in East Wichita. Matt was recognized for those things that he does on a daily basis that help us improve our firefighter safety, make the best use of our existing resources, and really help us enhance our service. So while there are those who are recognized for their bravery and heroic action, and Matt is certainly one of those, his recognition in 2013 were for those things that he does before the call. He's really one of the good ones.
And was there a certain incident you want to highlight?
Well, you know, there were a number of incidents last year in which we had a number of people involved. One of those that may receive some national attention involved a house fire here in town where a 6-year-old child was rescued by a group of firefighters, I believe, back in October, perhaps. We were called to the report of a house fire. The first arriving unit was met by a group of people that had safely exited the structure, that reported that a child was unaccounted for, that they believed was still inside the home. This crew gathered their equipment, and with that instruction, if you will, that someone's in there and you need to do something about it, they forced entry into the home, found the child frail, weak, and unconscious in a bedroom, but were able to get her out of the home without burns. She did require some rescue breathing, but the child is alive today as a result of their effort.
We can't thank you guys enough for putting yourselves in harm's way, and that is a reality of your job.
It's one of the hard realities, and one of the more interesting things about it is when you talk to our people about it, all of them will say, well, that's what I was expected to do, that's why I'm here, and that's one of the joys of my personal involvement with people of that caliber.
And you guys are also involved in some different efforts regarding fallen firefighters?
We have an annual Fallen Firefighters event here in Wichita at the Kansas Firefighters Museum, which is located on South Broadway next to Fire Station number 2 at 1240 South Broadway. I believe it was Lincoln Park. We have a museum there, and annually we invite firefighters from across the state to join with us here in Wichita, where we take time to pause and remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And that sacrifice includes 17 Wichita firefighters over our more than 125 years of service.
Mm-hmm. It's quite a long history.
You know, for more than 125 years now, and we have what is a proud tradition of service. And so as we look forward to 2014, I'd like for us to continue to focus on the community and community involvement, continuing to get the firefighters out of the fire stations and into the neighborhoods and into various events that can maintain our public trust, allow people an opportunity to meet and know that we are there for and are all about providing for them. As you know, the manager is making, the manager and council are making community engagement a focus for what they want to do in 14, and we certainly want to be supportive and included in all those activities.
And if people want to keep tabs on what you guys are doing and learn more about your accomplishments in previous years, what should they do?
Well, we produce an annual report that we can make available. We also have the social media site, Facebook. You can get information there. There is a fire department webpage, and I have learned that there is an unofficial Wichita Fire Department webpage that talks about emergency incidents. So there are a number of sources available to folks in the community.
Chief, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I'd just like to thank you for this opportunity, as well as you know, the citizens and residents of this community. They've been very good to us and provide me and the men and women of our department with many things to be thankful for. So thank you, and thank them all.
Thank you for all that you do.
That concludes this episode of Burning Issues. Our mission is to provide our community excellent proactive fire and life safety services through prevention, education, and protection. Remember, Wichita firefighters are highly trained professionals who are your friends and neighbors. They're Wichita's bravest, and they're somewhere serving you in many ways every day.